Treasury Secretary making some headlines in D.C. For that, we'll get to Steve Leisman. Morning, Steve.
Good morning, Carl. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent at the Federal Reserve here in Washington, sitting down with Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Michelle Bowman, and he's making some sharply critical remarks about the Dodd-Frank legislation, the banking legislation from 2010, and the effect on community banking. Let's just give a listen to what he said.
The post-crisis framework has left a trail of destruction in its wake by reinforcing the larger economic dynamics that have hollowed out the American heartland while enriching the money centers in coastal cities. To be clear, the financial crisis underscored the need for new regulations. The purpose of Dodd-Frank was to end too big to fail, but it ended up creating too small to succeed.
He is outlining sweeping deregulation from the Trump administration in concert with the banking regulating agencies to make it easier for community banks. He notes that the number of applications for community banks has fallen. The number of community banks out there has fallen. He'd like to try to revive that, and they're going to use deregulation. Also saying, by the way, guys, that the U.S. deficit will be lower than expected this year, falling from 6.5% to around 5.9% of GDP, though the full numbers are not in yet. And just a note here, guys, it is a little unusual for this a duo to be out there with a Treasury Secretary and a Fed governor together. Also noting that Michelle Bowman is one of the candidates that's been mentioned for to be a potential replacement to Fed Chair Jay Powell.
Indeed, Steve. FT's got a piece remarking that Bessent has wrapped up some interviews with Hassett, Warsh, and Waller, and that Rick Rieder apparently did, quote, very well.
Yeah, we've had Rick at sort of to the top of the list. We had a story on that a couple weeks ago, and looks like that is continuing. I wouldn't get on the Rick Rieder bandwagon, I think, Carl, until President Trump mentions his name. He's been sort of listing the three that are out there, the two Kevins and Waller. Those have been the three main ones. But Rick Rieder's name, we had a story a couple weeks ago saying that he was one of the favorites of the Treasury Secretary. And we're waiting for some additional information from the Treasury, perhaps, about who's in and who remains out of the 11 candidates that have been there. Carl?
Busy day for you, Steve. We'll come back to you. Steve Leisman in D.C. this morning.